What's up, gamers? We are back with some more modern action. I'm, of course, a NanMan. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we've got Broodscale Combo versus Dimir Murktide today. These are two decks that have existed in and out of the meta for a while. I mean, Broodscale Combo definitely became a thing after Modern Horizon 3 last summer. And it has, been streamlined and worked through to be able to generate infinite colorless mana or make a giant walking ballista or kill your opponents with the flesh raker. Like, there's a lot of ways and lines within the deck to combo and kill your opponents here. The other side of things, Dimir Murktide is a tempo based deck. There's basically two camps within the Murktide style. Is you are on the Oculus reanimation style, or you're on the more traditional, here's just blue-black tempo efficiency stuff with the frog, and we'll get a Murktide later on to, do things like that. But Glaring Flesh Raker is hitting the battlefield here. So this is what we were talking about. Whenever another colorless creature enters the battlefield, it's not a cast trigger. Whenever it enters, then you get to have it deal 1 damage to opponent, and that's going to get hit with a fetch into a Fatal Push. So let's clear that off. But you do see the Shadow Spears in here because it does run the Urza's package. So if you're running the, the style to tutor up 1-drops, and you have the ability to make a creature ginormous, why would you not want to be able to have something with trample? So I like that, inclusion if you are going to be running the Urza package. Not the Urza Lord High Artificer, of course, but Urza Saga is what we're referring to in that regard of the Urza package. But we do see attempting to do a Kozilek's Command, and that's going to get hit with a counter spell. So again, the ebb and flow of this match is going to be a lot of that sort of back and forth, tug of war of resource trading and trying to get combo pieces to stick for the Broodscale player, while the Dimir player is trying to respond and put a stop to that here. And we're going to go with the exiling of cards and making spawns here because we know that it is a Dimir Murktide list, or at least we know that it is a Dimir focus list, and they are either on the Oculus or they're on the Murktide. So either way, having graveyard left around is a problem. So we got to deal with that a little bit there. So yeah, it should be pretty interesting how this match is going to go. The Murktide player does get access to a little bit more draw potential than, say, like a Broodscale. And interesting, we're on the Eldrazi spawn beatdown here. But yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how, because the Murktide list is such a tempo-based list. Okay, so there's an Unearth. Okay. So are we on Oculus? I think we might be then. I wrote it as Murktide in here. Maybe it's the Oculus package. I don't know. We're not seeing any thought scours or things like that to give us the indication that it is. So maybe there's a couple of Unearths just snuck into the list. Having like a 1 of 2 of Unearths in just like a traditional Dimir Frogtide list isn't that bad, because, all right, here, speaking of Frog, here's Psychic Frog here, but you can get Frog back, you can get a Orcish Bowmaster back, so there are useful and reasonable targets that you could be able to go for here. But yeah, Psychic Frog, of course, gives us a lot of flexibility within the list, and the reason why most players are, if they're going to play a Murktide style of deck from nowadays, they are running the Dimir version as opposed to the Izzet version that existed pre-Modern Horizons 3. The Frog is just too good of a card. Hey, Broodscale. Now, we don't have our last little bit of combo piece. But you can see whenever one or more +1 counters are put on Broodscale, you can create a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn creature token. So that is one half of the combo. The other is Blade of the Blood Chief. So we don't have that. That, of course, you know, you run a playset in there. You're running as well as access to things like, you know, the Ursa Saga to tutor it up. So, but let's see. What are we going for? Alright, adapting. If this creature has no counters on it, put a +1 counter on it, then make an Eldrazi spawn. So we essentially have 1, 2, 6, 7 mana available for something.
I might not block.
It says I might not block if you want to swing in with your little Eldrazi spawn. Ooh, Pithing Needle. Now this is a good little addition here. So we're going to do some... Ooh, Bale Mark? Alright, we're going to put 2 counters on the frog so he becomes a 3/4. So now we can no longer discard cards to it. We can no longer give the frog flying. But I like that response to the Pithing Needle coming out. Because, like, especially because we missed a land drop, we're kind of like almost all in on this frog right now. But we'll see what is... I guess there's like the debate is to, like, if you move the Shadow Spear onto the Broodscale, that doesn't necessarily help us or protect us against stuff like the... I mean, I guess it's what it would be, a 4/4 there, but that's like all in. You know, a Fatal Push or something just clears the path. So like spreading ourselves out a little bit does help a little bit more. Interesting choices here. So we don't go for the block. I mean, we have a spawn we could just throw in the way. Like, oh, I don't know. It's like getting, like, preventing our opponent from drawing, I feel like is so important. Especially, I mean, I guess we don't know what's in hand, right? What could they be wanting to hold their Eldrazi spawns onto that they really want to make sure that they've got the mana available to them? Oh, we're going to try to do the Glaring Fleshraker, but it's going to be met with a Stern Scolding. A surprisingly relevant card here in game number 1. Some lists run them sideboard, some, you know, have any number of combinations in the main board. Again, that's that sort of tempo base. You're kind of controlling what gets to be on the battlefield through your kind of counter magic and your removal spells as a Dimir player. But oh, there we go. Okay, Walking Ballista. So that's why we didn't just throw something in the way. This allows us a little bit more flexibility here. Yeah, so this is interesting. Another 3, and we have a 4/4. I mean, a 3/4 and a 4/4, we just block it, and if they have a push or something, we shoot it and kill it. Oh, we're shooting the player here. We're not even going to worry about the frog. I don't know. That seems weird to me. I guess it's like we're setting ourselves up for, okay, we could just lower their life and hope that we can kill them quicker with something else, like maybe another Walking Ballista or something like that. But, like, I don't know, get rid of the frog. Again, the more chances the player has to draw cards, the more likely that they're going to come back in this game, because they're still on 2 lands. All right, drawing cards. Do we pop a Clue? Do we flip Tameo? No, we don't. All right. Land go. Oh, that's pretty good. Malevolent Rumble. So then there's the question. It's like, do you fight over the Rumble or not? I am more for the... I'm in the camp of fight over what they get after that. Like, yes, it can be beneficial to fight over it in certain situations. Like, Broodscale is a combo deck that does run Active Soul Cauldron and stuff like that. So interacting and fighting in that regard, it can be relevant, but based on what they have presented on the battlefield, we don't care as much about that. So Soul Guide Lantern going to come out. We'll start exiling, chip away at things, pop it and blow up all the stuff that's in the graveyard if we wanted to, or draw more cards. So it's got a little bit of flexibility. Attempt to equip this to this. A Bowmaster. Let's shoot it down. Ping, ping. And we're going to respond and sack it, so you get no token. I like that. Oh. All right, gaining the life. Did I miss the life? I can't remember now. Hey, switching up the dice on us. Trying to keep track of what. The power of the colored dice makes it easier to track, at least on camera, for everybody to see. Oh, okay. We're going to find a Flesh Raker off of the Ancient Stirrings here. So yeah, you notice like the way the Broodscale deck is, it's a lot of setup cards. You have Ancient Stirrings, you've got your Broodscale, or your Malevolent Rumble, and you're basically setting yourself up for a Broodscale combo, with... It is essentially, you need 2 cards to go to start, but you need a 3rd card as your payout card to, win, right? Like, you need a Flesh Raker, you need a Walking Ballista, so some games you will just be able to combo with Broodscale and Basking Broodscale it up with the, 2,000 counters you place on it and swing in, but some games not. Now things are looking very difficult. The Murktide player is basically gotten control of the board using that tempo momentum that they're able to generate here and try to take over things. I don't know. I still think fighting over and killing off the frog, because is the Murktide or the frog... Hold on. Is discarding cards an activated ability for it? Now I'm trying to remember. Discard a card. Yeah, so it is an activated ability. Discard a card, put a +1 counter on Psychic Frog, or exile 3 cards from your graveyard. Psychic Frog gains flying until the end of turn. So there's 2 activated abilities, and with Pithing Needle naming Psychic Frog, we didn't have to worry about the Walking Ballista response, pitch more cards to make the frog bigger. So I feel like we should have gotten rid of the frog there. I don't know. Hindsight's 2020. We saw the Walking Ballista. We saw some lines that the Broodscale player was going for here. Let's see game 2. We've got sideboard actions available. So the Urza Saga coming out, dropping it on turn 1 here. Basically, we're in the mentality of we want to try to get this to pop and tutor up a card as quickly as possible. I don't know. I always like doing it on turn 2 because I always like making constructs with my decks that run it. But I based off of playing, for those that missed the live stream over the weekend, I did play with in the modern 5K event for the streamer MTGO content creator event, and played some Urza. We did get to do the thing. We got the Thopter combo and use Urza and Sword of the Meek and Thopter Foundry to make 1,000,000 Thopters, so that was very fun. We'll post up a couple of videos from it, but it didn't do too bad. Our final record at the end was 3-3. We ran into a couple combo decks at the beginning, ran into a bunch of energy, Boros energy. So overall, I felt like it was a good event. I had fun. Next time I'll play a different deck. We were a little bit slower and more mid-rangey. That we did well against some of the combo decks we played, but we were missing some of the speed that some of the other lists had. So, but I had fun being able to do that event in particular. Also working on some more MTGO content for y'all. But hey, Basking Broodscale coming out, which we're gonna get hit with the spell snare. So in all of my talking about that, we're seeing a lot of the reaction stuff, sideboard stuff coming out. Of course, for the Dimir Murktide player with that consigned to memory, allowing them to essentially stifle the Urza Saga trigger, preventing the search.
Oh, it is the green one. It's literally just the green one. They should just print that in the Wouldn't that be fun? Basking root skill? Basking root wall of the green one. The madness green one? Yeah. I mean, we got the red one. I think the green one is slightly better. It gets +2/+2 once per turn. Yeah. They should have changed madness to trigger off.
All right, passing the turnover. We still have our Soul Guide Lantern here.
Whoa.
A frog coming out early. Yeah, the thing about the Broodscale deck is it doesn't really care so much about what your opponent is doing. It's more of like, I'm going to do my thing, and will you interact with this, yes or no? And if you do not interact with it, well, you're going to have a bad time. All right, we're in setup mode. Malevolent Rumble coming. Cannot get the Ancient Stirrings. We've got, which land we get? Beseiju here or Eldrazi Temple. I feel like both are great. I mean, the Bauble, like, doesn't really help us there. So, yeah, we move Ancient Stirrings out of the way, and, yeah, so we're going to get more ramp. All right, fetching. Both players just sort of in setup mode here. The only thing, though, is the Dimir Murktide or Frogtide, or I don't think it's an Oculus list, even though there was the Unearth, but maybe I'm completely wrong. But just like not seeing any of the Thought Scours is kind of like, I don't know.
My opponent failed to find. He's looking. No, he failed to find. I know what he wants more than he does. Trust me. I'm an empath.
All right. Yeah, I was like, are we doing... Oh, I was like, we got to push? No, we got to Cling to Dust here. I like this card a lot. We've seen this kind of pop up in Dimir Murktide lists, sometimes main board, sometimes sideboard, but you get to pick a card in the graveyard and either help you gain life, depending on if you need that, or you could be able to draw a card, which most of the time players are choosing to draw cards. All right. Lantern will get rid of the graveyard. The graveyard is starting to fill up a little bit scary, so we need a way to kind of deal with that. No blocks. Yeah, I like the no blocks here compared to last game. It sucks to give them cards, but, you know, we're still in major setup mode here as the Broodscale player. Tameo. Oh, and a Preordained. So that would be our third draw effect this turn. Draw for turn, Psychic Frog damage, and now a Preordained damage is very nice. So Tameo gets flipped. Of course, it would be amazing if we were able to get to the ultimate stage in that kind of -7. But the real flexibility is like we got to start blanketing and weaken creatures, but also the returning a instant or sorcery from our graveyard to our hand. Now, if it's green, you add mana, but that's never relevant in the decks that play Tameo. Like, there's no, like, crazy good blue-green list out there right now that I'm seeing that people are returning a green spell from their graveyard. Like, I don't even know what green instant or sorcery you'd want. Court of Callings. Like, nobody runs Collected Companies anymore. I mean, Green Sun Zenith gets shuffled back in. What really good green instant or sorcery? I mean, Amulet Titan runs some, like, Explorer type effects, but, like, they're not running Tameo, so, like, I don't know. When is that relevant? Who knows? Oh. No, they're memeing about the not having negative power, but only counts when it attacks. All right, Kozilek's Command here. We know, basically we're saying the coast is clear because our opponent is sitting with one swamp and a fetch land. So they could get one, but they can't get double blue to generate here. So we'll exile, get rid of that frog, and now we'll make some Eldrazi spawns, and we're going to do some Malevolent Rumble in response. So again, another setup turn, but also protecting us a little bit with the exiling of Psychic Frog. Looks like more lands and a Walking Ballista. So yeah, we'll get a payoff card here. We'll grab the Walking Ballista. But we're still, I mean, there's only 2 cards left in our hand. One's a Walking Ballista. So it's, I think that's the thing about, like, unless you're getting the really explosive turns with the Broodscale deck, you, like, not being able to draw cards does, like, feel bad, right? Or maybe I'm just so used to just playing blue decks, and maybe, like, because you're playing against a Dimir Murktide list like this, you're in that mindset of, like, dang, I have to jump through so many more hoops, it feels like, with Ancient Stirrings and Malevolent Rumbles, so they're not quite draws, but at least they are protected. You don't have to worry about, like, a Bowmaster shooting you for that. So they were checking. What is the ultimate? Again, draw half the deck. And, oh, hey, let's just shut down Tamiyo now. Walking Ballista for 1. Oh, Stern Scalding. Because it's 2 or less. So, yeah, again, Stern Scalding, great card to see. I run some in my sideboard for my Dimir Murktide list. I pulled them out of the main board, and I've since put in Inquisitions because I like that, you know, give me more information and add a little bit more disruption over the Stern Scolding main board. But Adwara will go, and let's uptick it. I like that play. Now we're ready to ultimate Tamiyo. Oh, especially because here's a Consign to Memory there. But this forces our opponent into attacking. Put another counter, swing 2. Even though it is 3, it does get that minus ability.
Am I down taking her to get a favor? I wish I could get a favor.
The debate about should we down tick here. No, we're going to continue to uptick. There's a Tamiyo. Okay. We at least have a blocker. I mean, yeah, the goal is to try to get Tamiyo to stay alive here. Put an extra counter on it. So go to damage. Tamiyo will die. Get rid of 2 of the counters just to make sure Tamiyo cannot ultimate, because drawing half of your deck, that's game over. We gotta keep the Tamiyo in check the best that we can, but it's only a matter of time, it feels like, before a Fatal Push or something hits the battlefield and kills our Walking Ballista, and then we have no real way to effectively keep it in check. Oh, we are down ticking. And we're gonna get a Preordain. I don't mind that, like, as a choice here, especially if you're feeling like you're running low on resources, and it is basically top deck mode. So how do you navigate that to set yourself up for the next stage of the game here? Oh, shoot the Sheriff on the end step here. And 2 of those Walking Ballista bullets are going to go right towards Tamiyo, so dropping Tamiyo to 1. Oh, okay. Tamiyo uncontested, just able to start ticking up again. This sort of land go mode. I mean, this is the like exciting part of modern sometimes is we get into these grindy moments and grindy matchups where it's like, oh, look at this. Oh, I love this. A little bit of a wizard battle. So we do a Kozilek's command. We respond with a counterspell trying to get it, but that is where our sideboard Veil of Summer comes in, allowing us to draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn, which counterspell counts that, and it makes it so our spells can't be countered and our permanents have hexproof. So let's draw a card, and now, yeah, it's like making a spawn. Are we drawing cards? Or drawing an extra card? Exiling some stuff from the graveyard?
You don't have Emrakul, man.
Ooh. Okay, so we were going through and counting what's in our graveyard there, which means Emrakul's coming up. So we've got an artifact, we've got a sorcery, we've got a creature, we've got an instant, we've got a land, we've got a typal, like kindred, tribal, whatever word you want to refer to it, because we have the Eldrazi spell. So what do we have? 6 less spells, so we need 7 mana? Maybe there's one other thing in there that I missed, but... Oh, Urza Saga, an enchantment. So 7 stuff. Ooh, Harbinger of the Seas. All right, what are we at here? Oh, top decked are snow-covered wastes. He says, "Thanks, Mark Poole." All right, let's figure out the math. He says, "Emrakul to Promise End." So 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We don't have to pop any spawns. And, of course, we have Flying Trample protection from instances. And when you cast it, target opponent is now under your control here. So, hey, we drew a Preordain. Yeah, we're just going to go to game 3. So we just said, no, I'm not going to let you take control of me. There's not much I could do here. Even whatever cards that I get, if you get a removal spell to kill my own Harbinger, it's just, nope, 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 nope. So game 3 going into it, tied up 1-1. So yeah, that is the other line outside of just, hey, let me make a bunch of mana. You also just have lines to go, well, here's a giant flying spaghetti monster. Are you ready to deal with this? No? Okay. All right, mulligan there. Oh, a turn 1 Tameo is pretty solid. Urza Saga, Blade of the Blood Chief, perfect. You love to see that hit right away because, you know, that means there's not going to be any consigned memories to counter it at this point. You're kind of setting yourself up. So now, how do we get a Broodscale following up soon? No, not at the moment. Springleaf Drum. Okay, we're setting ourselves up. Fetching again. Yeah, Tameo's going to continue to just generate more clues that we could use later on. Oh, we'll just pop one now. Draw a card. I like that. Just get information off the bat. Like, what else are we going to do with our mana on the end step? There, you know, nothing else is happening. I mean, being able to go first in game 3 as a blue deck feels amazing because you get to be the one that's controlling the flow of the game based on your counter spells, and how, like, being able to have counterspell magic essentially ahead of your opponent, it's so good. Such a great feeling. All right. Oh, I love that forest too. I mean, the swamp, same sort of style of art, but like the galaxy foil, I need to, like, I want to get some, but I also don't want to fall down that rabbit hole and be like, well, if I've got the basics for this that are galaxy foils, I might as well get the shocklands that are the galaxy foils, and I might as, and just like, yeah, that's that, because I know that's what I would do, because I love the look of lands. All right, what are we tutoring up here? Pithing Needle? Okay. Lantern solid.
Okay. Okay. I won't let you exploitate the Blackwood from your graveyard to pay mana for something.
Yeah, I mean, Pithing Needle, you would have to, like, preemptively name something. So you could preemptively name Tameo. I don't like that as much as, like, preemptively naming, like, Psychic Frog, but keeping the graveyard in check, and because, like, you look at how much mana there is, right? There's 3 mana there, 3 cards in the graveyard. You could cast a Murktide. Not that a 3/3 is that scary, but it's still like, let's keep stuff in check for now. Lots of mana available though, so now you're in this, like, you don't want to jam something into a counter spell and just, like, have that feel bad moment, so you're kind of, yeah, passing. Pop a clue. Yeah, not much mana available for sure. And we can't cast Kozilek's Command because we don't have enough colorless mana. We have no Eldrazi Temple or anything like that right now. Yeah, that's a tough moment. It looks like, 4 mana to 2 right now. Part of that is with the Urza Saga going away and us not really being able to do much else with that mana. And that's the downside, I guess, of playing the Urza Saga on turn 1. Like, if we had played it on turn 2, it would be popping now, but we could have made a construct with the mana. We're actually going to draw a card off the Lantern. Okay. Hey, there's a temple. That'll help us. We got 2 Kozilek's Command to give us a little bit more flexibility. The Dimir Murktide is really hurting themselves here. Look at this. Like, fetching. This is the 4th fetch land that they've popped so far. We've gotten 2 of our watery graves. Then we're just going to start grabbing some of our basics here. Talking about secrets. Get out of here. Super secret text no one's ready for. Alright, popping clues. Continue to draw cards. I don't know. Like, this sort of... The Broodscale player is not showing us, like, crazy explosiveness yet. You can't overcommit and tap out in case it starts to show up. So you're just like, land, pop a clue, go. Right? Like, you're in this weird... Just sort of... like almost like an arms race against your opponent, but the fact that you get to draw cards, you're so much better off. Yeah, they're at 9 cards there, and they're like, all right, go to my end step and discard this card. Okay. Basic waste. Yeah, basic waste, pass, fetch another one. Oh, now we're getting some of our surveillance. Getting a little bit more information to help us out here. But, yeah, both players are just sort of like, it feels like the Murktide list is just full of reaction stuff. Play a creature, cast a spell, do something so I can use the cards in my hand, while the Broodscale player is like, no, I don't have to. I can grind it out and we can wait. We're going to attempt to K command. Attempting to move to combat. Let's respond with this Kozilek's command. We're going to exile a creature, and it's going to, yeah, there's the counter spell. Now we get another clue. 4 cards left in hand. Another sweet looking forest. Oh. Traverse the Ulvenwald. I haven't seen this card in a while. Some of the like Jund-based decks were experimenting with it for a while back in the day. You know, the Delirium stuff does matter. And because we've already got Delirium, you just tutor for any card you want. But yeah, it's like, I've got so much mana. What am I going to do with all this? Like, I like that because you get to either find lands if you need them or, you know, tutor. And we're going to tutor for the Flesh Raker here. So again, this could force a reaction. Another counterspell could come down. Or we just wait. Yeah, we're going to go for it. Let's cast it. Any responsing. Because again, you can respond when the next spell tries to come, right? The next colorless creature or anything. The Glaring Flesh Raker, when you cast that colorless spell, create it. When another colorless creature enters, bam. So there are lots of ways to be able to... Oh, no, it doesn't matter. We're just going to try to push that off a cliff. Yeah, no responses. So yeah, again, the Murktide list is just sort of waiting for stuff to happen. It's been building up resources, preparing for this. Harbinger of the Seas coming out, cutting off the double colorless here. Eldrazi Temple turning into an island. I mean, we've got basically all our other basics, but like not having double colorless could be pretty impactful here. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mana. Do we go, like, are we able to jam an Emrakul soon? Yeah, it's like we've had this Blade of the Blood Chief since the beginning of the game and been unable to do anything with it. So now we're just sort of like, okay, how do we navigate from this location here? Harbinger is going to keep beating me down. You know, the amount of mana that we've gotten into, it makes this extremely difficult. The amount of clues that are out, it makes this extremely difficult. So, oh, consign. And we're going to replicate it. So we're going to counter that spell, and we're going to be able to counter the ability, the triggered ability off the cast there. So we will not be able to take our extra turn, or take our opponent's turn. But that would have been really good if that had been resolved. But again, that sideboard stuff, like, basically, if you're running blue, you're running 4 of Consigned to Memories. Because it's that good of a card. Ooh, Frog lives. There's the beats. More clues. 2 damage. How does a Broodscale player kind of come back from this sort of moment? Like, that advantage meter is clearly on the side of our Dimir player. Okay, anti-counterable stuff there. That helps. We don't have a second colorless source, though, for our Kozilek's command. Yeah, passing. That's tough. Alright, is Tamio flipping this turn? Looks like it's very likely with the frog being able to hit and popping a clue. Yeah, bring the team. Make another clue. Discarding some cards to Psychic Frog. Discarding to Psychic Frog. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, let's make that a big frog. 3 counters on it. So 4, 5, 6. Damage is good. Oh, man. Wow. I like just how swingy things were with, like, again, going first compared to second allows the control of the deck to be able to really shine here. The amount of advantage we've gained through drawing cards. Tamiyo is going to flip again, and a basically uncontested board with Tamiyo. We were really relying on the Eldrazi, you know, Emrakul, the Promise End to get us there and basically be that comeback or game-winning moment there for us. All right. Active players, turn 0. We've been a grindy one. Thanks for everyone that still stick with us to the end of the video like this as we're kind of getting closer and closer to the edge. Will our Broodscale player be able to kind of lock in and hold the line here and be able to make it to the end of the time in the round? Or will it be a Dimir Murktide victory? We're going to attempt a Basking Broodscale. Can we equip the blade and just do it? We have all the mana we need. Play an island. Attempt to equip this. Oh, there is the push. Fatal push. Oh! Veil of Summer. We will draw a card and give our permanents hexproof. Otawara. Oh, that gets around things because it's a nice little colorless spell. Of course, we get to return a artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker to its owner's hand. This does cost less based off of legendaries. We have no legendaries right now, so tap for a green. Draw a card. We still have a green. Attempt to play Broodscale again. And hope there's no more push. No, we could... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Tamiyo's there. Return Fatal Push from the graveyard. Kill Broodscale off. We're fine. Oh, man. I thought that was it. I thought we were able to stabilize there. Shoot the Sheriff. We don't even need to worry about Tamiyo. We've got to shoot the Sheriff. And we're going to down tick, get this consigned to memory back. Swing 6. Drop our opponent to 4. Trigger will draw an extra card. And with the consign, that basically seals the deal of this match here. We'll see. A Walking Ballista, we could dump all of our mana we've got into it, and it's not going to matter with the consigned to memory there. And the Broodscale player knows it, so it's just sort of like in that moment, okay, is there a way to troll myself into dying here? I mean, any chance that I get, if I know that I'm about to lose, I'll do the fetch shock, even though you can't like legally do that. It's like basically saying, "Hey, I'm conceding. I'm extending my hand. I'm going to try to kill myself here with this, but we're going to see this. Hey, I'd like to try to do this Walking Ballista." And you saw the mana trying to be available for Blade of the Blood Chief, but not gonna be able to happen because there's a consign. And that is it for this match. Dimir Murktide being able to tempo its way to victory, really showing the games where it was able to go first, was able to win. I mean, that it feels a lot like that in Modern right now with how important it is to win the die roll. Not just with like a Murktide list, but the Eldrazi's decks, but also like the Boros Energy list. Like there's, I don't know, going first is so impactful. Like I wish that is one thing with like One Piece we've noticed is that there is that actual, it does matter going first or second, and players will choose to go second depending on what their deck is, depending on what the matchup is, where it's very, 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 very rare for that to happen in Magic. But that is it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. Of course, make sure you're coming back and checking out every Monday and Thursday as well as Saturday for more Modern action. We've got, of course, our paper gameplay stuff every Monday and Thursday, and our MTGO content coming out on Saturdays for you to be able to enjoy. But that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next game.